This video is an overview of the LeadSnap phone system. You can access the phone system by expanding phone system on the left navigation. There are two different types of subscriptions within LeadSnap. There's a subscription for all the different tools, such as the CRM, reputation management, things inside research and Google, as well as a second subscription for the phone system. We have different plans. There's different plans for different countries as well. So you'll want to pay attention to that when you sign up for one of those. To take advantage of the phone system, you're going to need the phone system plan to be able to access this area here. So if you expand phone system, you'll see calls. The calls area will give you a report of all the different phone calls that have come through on any of the tracking numbers that you have purchased or ported into our phone system. So you can see the name of the company as well as the tracking number. You can play back any of the calls that have been recorded. You can expand this over here on this side. Again, you have the playback option. You can add notes or edit details about this particular contact, and you can see more contact information or edit their contact here. You can make an outgoing call from right here, or you can send a text message to this person from the tracking number through here. Up at the top, we have some different filters. So this is the total number of calls. So this is going to apply to whatever filters are in use. So I'm just running a filter right now for the last 30 days. 54 unique callers. So those are callers that obviously it's eliminating the repeat callers. These are calls that are at least 90 seconds long. These calls are missed calls, and these are calls that the caller has left a voicemail. So you can apply these different search items up here. Here's kind of like a quick way to do it. You can also add more filters here, such as if you have tags. You can save these, or you can load filters. So this will save the exact settings of these. You can add additional columns to this area down here by selecting these and then clicking update. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of the calls area. The texting is where you can make create text messages, as well as see any active ones. If I click this button up here, it's going to ask me for my company. You're going to need to enter a client phone number in there, and then you would put your text message in here and click this send button over here in the corner to get that to work. On the right side, we have a dialer here as well. So you would select your company, the tracking number, and then put in the customer number. If you'd like to make this call from your phone, you can check this box right here and then enter your phone number. When you click begin call, it will call your phone. And what it'll ask you to do is press 1. And when you press 1, it's going to connect to the customer phone number on your phone, but it's going to use the caller ID of the tracking number. If you don't want to do it through your phone, then you can use the browser phone, and it can make the browser call through your browser. You'll need to enable permission for the microphone to LeadSnap for this to work correctly. Okay, so moving on, we have the browser phone. So this is just very similar to the other parts where you've had the dialer. This whole page is just dedicated to making those outgoing calls. So you can put in the company as well as the tracking number that you want to call from, the customer number, and again, you can make that call the same way that we just kind of spoke about a minute ago. Call flows. Call flows give you a lot of. So this gives you the opportunity to create a sort of decision-making tree of what happens. So we'll go through each one of these. This right here will determine if the calls are recorded. So if this is on, then the calls are recorded. Otherwise, they won't. By default, it comes on. So make sure you pay attention to that. The greeting message is a message that you can have played as soon as the caller makes the phone call. This will be the first thing that they hear in this situation. So I can upload a call here. I can choose a recording and upload it from my computer if I have a recording of something that I want to be played. Or I could use an automated message by coming in here and clicking this, and says, something like, this call will be recorded for quality assurance, right? Something like this. You can hear how that sounds by pressing this button right here.
This call will be recorded for quality assurance.
Right. So we are working towards putting accents on those as well. So that is the greeting method. The dialer will dial a phone number or a collection of phone numbers. Okay, so I can choose for this to call whatever phone number I put in here. I can also choose to have it go to a user phone. So this is going to select from your user's accounts, and this will ring in their browser if it's selected to the browser phone. So you can add multiple. This could be Barbara Johnson's phone number here and her browser phone here, so it'll ring in either place. Okay. So you can prevent the voicemails. Get rid of this one. So the way this will work is this is going to, if you add multiple phones in here, it's going to ring all of these phones until the first person answers, and then it's going to stop on all of them when they answer. So that's kind of how that works. Okay, and then this will prevent the calls from going to their personal voicemail. This button here will, let's say that the first call goes to Barbara Johnson's, and then a caller calls back later. Maybe there's two people here. This is like, Tom's phone number or whatever, right? So Barbara answers the first one. This button here would route this so that if the same caller calls back, it'll route it back to Barbara. You'll notice this throughout our system here. So you could have this ring for 20 seconds or 30 seconds and then go on to the next step. So maybe the next step is a voicemail or to hang up. Whenever you use a voicemail, that's going to be the final step. There's no step after a voicemail. So if you do that, then that's going to be the end of the call flow. Just like with the greeting, you can upload your recording or you can put in an automated message to be read. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. So that one is the voicemail option. We also have the round robin option. So the round robin will give you a lot of flexibility, and the round robin is sort of a rotation that can alternate between calls based on certain criteria. So just like the dialer, I can have this ring multiple phone numbers. So in this situation, it'll be ringing these 3 phone numbers, and a set is a second group of phone numbers that it will ring. So in this situation, if I don't put in any type of weighted distribution, then by default, it's going to split this equally. So in this situation, these 3 phone numbers are going to get 50% of the calls, and then this number is going to get 50% of the calls. So collectively, they'll get 50%, and this will get 50%. So if there's 10 calls, these 3 numbers will get 5, and this guy will get 5. So that's how it's going to work. If I use weighted distribution, then I can change that. So maybe I want 30% to go here, and I want 70% to go here. So then 3 out of 10 calls will get sent to these 3 numbers, and the remaining 7 would get sent here. Again, we can prevent that. Okay, so that's the round robin. The schedule will allow you to have different actions take place based on the time of day or the actual day that it is. So maybe on weekdays between midnight and 8 a.m., I want the calls to go. And notice this little arrow that kind of runs out the side and comes down here. So during this branch, maybe I want it to dial this phone number. Okay, so maybe there's somebody who works the 3rd shift, and then during another time, so this other branch, so we'll say weekdays so now we'll need to go between 8 a.m. and midnight. And the key is that you're going to need to have a solution for everything. So this won't work right here. The way I have it set up, this won't work because this is only weekdays. I need to cover the weekend as well. So I would need to add a branch for the weekends, right? And I would say weekends all day. So now everything's covered. I also need to make sure that I have a destination for this stuff. So I would just click on this little question mark, and then I would have the ability to come down here and say what operation happens during this time frame, and the same for the weekends, right? So you can just kind of see this little line that comes down here and tells you what's happening. So maybe we're just going to hang up this time, right? Okay, so another step that we can add in here is the menu. So the way the menu works, similar to the greeting and the voicemail, we can upload a recording because for a menu, we're going to have to provide some sort of instruction to the caller and let them know what the different options are for the menu, right? So it could be press 1 for sales, press 2 for support. Just like in other examples, we could have that typed in and have the automated message run. So we would just come down here and we'll say press 1. So in this situation, I could say press 1 for sales. Imagine I've uploaded my recording there. And then I can add another menu option that says press 2 for support, right? And just like with the schedule, I can choose what happens. So this one, maybe I need to insert, let's get rid of the schedule here. So maybe I need to insert a dial step here, and I'm going to dial the sales department here. And then for support, I'll come down here and I'm going to dial the support department here, or the, whatever makes sense for me. So that's how the menu works. Okay. The final step on here is the tag. So we can use this tag system. So this can be, we could create a tag. So maybe we have a tag that says if it's sales, then we have a tag step in here and it will tag it as sales. And if it's support, then we can tag it as support. And then within the all call section that we saw earlier, we can look at those tags and we can search by those tags, right? So that's the call flow system. After you create a call flow, it won't automatically be assigned to a company. So you can see I've got this barrier removal call flow that's being used by one number. If I want to edit my call flow or delete it, I can do that here. So let's go over here to numbers. So this will be our list of numbers that we have. If we'd like to get a new number, we can purchase one from up here. There's an association that happens, and it should be present. Notice these are unassigned, so they'll have limited functionality. The way that we can assign them is we can edit them. So I can come over here and I can edit this phone number, and I can assign it to this roofing company here, right? And this is the name of the phone number. So that's just kind of used internally. This is where the calls will be forwarded to. Okay, so right now they're not being forwarded anywhere. We really should have a phone number in here because since this is like a cloud-based voice over IP phone system, it's not going to know what to do unless you forward it somewhere. It's not like on your cell phone where it's automatically going to come to your phone. This needs a destination, right? So I could put in a phone number here and tell that where to go. So the call whisper feature will say, so let's pretend that this is Auburn Roofing Pros. So the whisper feature, how does that work? So let's say somebody calls this Auburn Roofing Company and the caller calls, and then the person who is answering the phone answers the phone, and it's going to read the whisper message, whatever is in here. So this could say something like call from Auburn Roofing Pros. Okay, so this is going to read this message to the person who answers the call. From the caller's perspective, the phone will continue to ring and they won't know that this message has been read, but the person answering the phone will hear this message and they'll know exactly what number it's coming from, because if we're forwarding this to their cell phone, this would be a way to tell this person, hey, this call is coming from us, rather than one of your normal cell phone calls. This is the area where we would assign a call flow. So if I turn this on, I can create a call flow here. There's a relationship between the call flows and the phone numbers. So up here at the top, I failed to mention this earlier, this is the area within the call flow where you can assign this to a different company. Okay, so when I create a call flow, I can assign it to a different company. All right, so let's use barrier removal here, and we will turn on call flow, and you'll see since I had a call flow there, I have the option to select that from the list. Okay, so I'm going to turn off call flow. We can also turn on call recording here if we're not using a call flow, a call greeting. So this is that message that says, this call this call will be recorded, something like that, right? So there's a few different ways. If you choose to use a call flow, then it's going to kind of override this area here. So if I go back a step, this is where I can remove a number and delete that number from my account. If I want to look at phone numbers by company, I can do that from this drop down in the top right. Okay. If I'd like to get a new number, then I can click this new number and it's going to ask me to select a company. So I'll select Auburn Roofing Company. Okay, so it's important to make sure that you select the right country for your phone plan. Okay, so I'm in the United States, so I would select the United States. I could come over here if I want to. You can see that this 989. If I wanted to only find phone numbers that were 989, I could do that, do a search for that. I could also do a search. You see this city here, Stratton, or we'll do something else. We'll do Atlanta, right? I'll do a search for phone numbers in Atlanta, and it will return those phone numbers. Next, I can just click on purchase. Right here, I can buy this number. This phone number is not actually purchased until I complete this form and click purchase. So this is where I'll assign it to a company, make sure that's the company I want. I'm going to name the number. So this is like Pat's number. Right, and then I'll put in the number that I want to forward these calls to. So maybe this is my phone number, right? So I'll put this in, and that way, when a new phone call comes in, it will get forwarded automatically to this number. So I'm not going to actually purchase this one, but I could just click on purchase, and that would would add that phone number to my account, right? Okay, so let's go down the menu here. We have port a number. So if you have phone numbers in some other phone system, then to be able to use them, to take full advantage of our phone system, you would need to port those into our system. So there is a form to fill out. We're in the process of kind of improving how this works. You'll need to select your country. It's important that we know where the phone numbers are coming from. So what you would do is you would agree to this stuff here. You're going to put in the name. So this would be like if I'm bringing in the name from maybe it's, my roofing company is the one I want to move first. For most of us, this is going to be a business, right? And we're going to put in the information that's associated with the current carrier. So if my name over there is Bob Jones, then I would put that, and my address that I have registered with that carrier is what I need to put here. Okay. This is where you can put in your phone numbers. If you're using a voice over IP, it's going to go in here. If you're using like a tracking number, if it's coming in from another voice over IP system, then you can bring it in and put it in this box here. If you're bringing a wireless phone number, then you would add it here. You need to add additional ones. You can do this here. The way we have this set up right now is it's not ideal, but unfortunately, you have to repeat what you put up in this box or these other ones down here, and then you assign it to a company, and you also assign a forwarding number. So that way we know as we bring these into the system that's where to send that stuff to. So these check boxes, I just kind of skipped over these. This is saying that, hey, once you bring this stuff over here, you're financially responsible for the numbers within our system. Okay, so make sure you read and understand all of this stuff here. So the next step in the process is you'll download this letter of authorization. Okay, so what this is this form that you fill out. I know that this is repetitive and you filled out this information, but we need to submit this on your behalf to start the porting process and bring these phone numbers in here. Let's say you're bringing in more than, it looks like there's 4 or 5 spots. Maybe you're bringing in 20 numbers. You'll just list those numbers down here. So you're going to fill out your name and, again, that same address information from your current carrier. And then you're going to sign, print, and date this. And then if you have extra phone numbers, just list them out there. Once you have this filled out, you'll need to upload it. Okay, so you'll choose this file from your computer. You've downloaded it, you've edited it. You can edit this in something like, Microsoft Word, or, upload it into Google Docs and make those edits, then download it. You'll need to save it as a PDF for it to be accepted, right? So you'll also need the last invoice from your current carrier. So upload that. We need that verification to prove that, you have access, that we authorize, or that you've authorized bringing this in here. And then this is where you can look at your current ports in progress, the name of it, and then the date and the status. So as this gets brought in, we will go and communicate with the carrier, and we'll update the status and let you know that that your numbers are now active and able to be used. So we're going to cover this, the areas of the phone system in more depth and kind of break them into smaller videos. But I wanted to get you guys an overview of how this phone system works. We're happy to answer any questions. Thanks a lot.